I know you can feel the electricity in the air. Well, we're just a little over an hour away from the Iowa caucuses, and some donors are making last-minute contributions through super PACs, trying to ensure that their candidate succeeds. Hillary got a real big chunk of change from a guy named Soros, $6 million. Bernie Sanders, though, doesn't take any super PAC money. He raked in $20 million from over 770,000 donors in January alone. And then there's the Koch brothers who poured $400 million into the last presidential election. Now they've refrained from endorsing any Republican candidates during the primary, but now there's some scuttlebutt. They may actually step up and take on Donald Trump. Joining me now, Sheriff David Clarke, Erickson, and Julie Roginsky. Julie, what do you make of this? The era of big money, could it be almost over or less influential?
Man, I got to say, Donald Trump has put the lie to the fact that you can buy elections. Look at what's going on with Jeb Bush. He was going to be the guy with all the money. He continues to have a ton of money, cash on hand. His super PAC blew through $15 million, and yet he's almost dead last, I mean, in Iowa. So you're talking about somebody who had all the money in the world, all the resources in the world. Doesn't seem to be working this time. The Kochs, God bless them, tried 4 years ago, 8 years ago, didn't work. I'm not so sure they'll be successful this time around. And they waited a little long. If they were going to go after him, should have done it probably 6 months ago.
You know, Sheriff Clarke, the one thing we can't say is, to Julie's point, Donald Trump brings a unique dynamic to this. Not every time someone running will have the sort of, skills, celebrity, and all the things that he brought into this election. So can we say, hey, you know what, these super PACs don't matter, or not just this time around?
Oh, I think they matter. I mean, Donald Trump is his own super PAC. I don't care how much money you raise. If you run a horrible campaign, you can go through it very quick. But I don't know, was it Joe Lieberman that said money is the mother's milk of politics? I think that will always be the case. I don't begrudge these from people from the donor class from participating in the political process. People know these guys are kingmakers, and they can raise quick, big cash on a moment's notice. I think you have to have a combination. It's always nice, like Sanders, to have 700,000 people give $25. But I'll tell you what, a guy like Soros, a guy like Stiers, people like the Koch brothers, they can get like 10 people in a room and raise that in a half hour. That's
true, but Eric, a lot of voters is turned off now, thinking, hey, if they raise that kind of money for you in a half an hour, you are beholden to them and not people who are actually casting the ballots.
Right. I mean, one of the interesting statistics is that it's the guy who raises the most from small dollar donors who typically wins, not the guy who gets the big dollar donors around the country. Small dollar donors are tied to votes. Large dollar donors are not necessarily tied to votes. So, I mean, for example, Donald Trump is the anomaly because he's not raising money. But among the others, Ted Cruz in the Republican primary right now has the most small dollar donors, and his ground game seems to prove that he has a lot of ground game support from those dollars. I do have to say, though, that Democrats, having complained forever about the Citizens United decision from the Supreme Court that enabled this sort of giving, they should want that case in place because it's proven to provide chaos for the Republicans, keeping candidates alive and in the game a lot longer than otherwise would have happened before the rise of the super PACs.
I think, Julie, maybe the Democrats have had second thoughts on that. I don't know. I know they talk about getting rid of that case and if they can appoint the next 3 or 4 Supreme Court justices, but it's kind of worked out pretty well for the Democrats too.
It's worked out for everybody pretty well. People who are connected, people who've got money, of course it's worked out well for them. Look, you have Shelley Adelson being able to put in an obscene amount of money to the Republican side, same with Tom Steyer on the Democratic side. So of course it works out well for those that are connected. Having said that, it's a horrible law. It completely exploits dark money. It completely exploits loopholes. It allows people to buy elections, literally
You're just
buy
mad
elections.
because it says that corporations are people too.
No, that's just Mitt Romney. I don't know that.
All right, guys,
that,
let's leave it there.